right, good morning, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after Merca and Playtika parties last night. So yes, I am Niko Vuori. I'm going to talk to you about taking on the big guys of social casino, David v. Goliath. This is me, co-founder and CEO of Rocket Games. We're a San Francisco-based social casino company, probably best known for Viva Las Vegas, which is a kind of a classic three-roll mechanical game that has kind of propelled us up the charts over the last probably 18 months or so. Formerly, I was at Zynga. I was the Zynga Poker GM there. And if you want to contact me, there is my email address. All right, so Rocket Games. Who are we? So we were founded in 2013. We're mostly Zynga alums. A lot of us were on poker. Bootstrapped the company, no outside investment whatsoever. So everything has been from cash flow and profits. Has made us very acutely aware of every little detail, every little install. And I think it's focused us and helped us along our way. We launched our first title in September of 2013. Our philosophy is to kind of launch early, launch often, get some product out there, get some feedback from the customers, and building in Unity obviously allows us to go cross-platform very, very easily. We've got, I think, 51, it's probably more than that now, probably 54 titles in market and counting, and that's really been part of our approach is getting product into market and learning from everything we do. And I'll talk more about some of that later on. We've been profitable since January 2014, albeit at a very small scale at the early days. And really, that's what has allowed us to kind of iterate, putting the profits back into the business, hiring one person at a time, putting a little bit of marketing dollars each month against our products, and learning as we go. 2015 was our breakout year. That's really where we grew by 6x, and we're now a top 15 social casino company, and in good company with the big guys of social casino. And this summer, we were acquired by Penn National Gaming for up to $170 million with earnouts included. All right. So what does it mean to be a top 15 social casino operator? This is from Eilers and Krejcik Gaming. Obviously, Caesars or Playtika is the undisputed champion up there with $220 million a quarter or more now, I think, in revenues. This is from Q1 of 2016. Obviously acquired for $4.4 billion by Giant of China just very recently. Then there's a kind of a tier one, I call it a tier one, of about 5 or 6 companies. You got your Zyngas, your Side Games, your IGTs, your GSNs, Aristocrat, Churchill Downs with Big Fish. And they're doing between 50 and 75 million a quarter. And obviously very, very solid businesses. Every one of these companies had a kind of an early start in the social casino industry. Then there's a tier 2. That's your Play Studios, your Tencents, your W Games, or your Boyas. A lot of the internationals there, you may not necessarily know their products because they're primarily in the international markets, in the Chinese markets and the Korean markets, with the exception, of course, Play Studios. And then you got your tier 3, and that's where we play at the moment, at least. We hope to move up the tiers, of course. And that's your kind of up-and-comers, I think. Your Mercas that are in there, the Rocket Games, Novomatic, and then Super Lucky. I think Nick's here somewhere in the audience as well. So that's about $12 to $15 million a quarter. So that's what we mean by social casino. That's your top 15. That's probably about 80% of the overall social casino industry. It was a great year for Super Lucky, Merca, and ourselves. 6x growth. We all grew on very different kind of approaches. Merca has gone after the male audience with scatter slots, really unlocked that demographic. Super Lucky with video slots, and we've done it with the classic three-reel mechanical genre. All right, so how did we do it? What have we been able to do, and what has Super Lucky and what have Merca been able to do to crack this market? It's been very locked down by these big guys for a really long time, for good reason. They had an early adopter advantage. They have huge budgets. They're large companies. They have original IP. They have recognizable brands. In the case of Zynga with Hit It Rich, customer relationships, CRM, real life rewards. They have all kinds of things going for them. How is it still possible to crack this market? And if you look at the charts, 1 in 3 titles in the top 50, this is US charts, is a casino game. That's why we went into the market, but it's also why it's very difficult to crack the market. So I'm going to talk about 3 things in the next kind of 15 or so minutes. And this is what we did. This isn't necessarily what is applicable to everyone, but these are the three things that I've highlighted as something that Rocket Games was able to do very explicitly as we were trying to crack the market and grow. So 3 things here. How do you take on the Goliaths of social casino? Kind of go after their weaknesses. So Goliaths by nature obviously go slow. So we try to be nimble, move fast, use data to iterate and innovate. Goliaths tend to play defense. Once you've reached the top of the charts, you're going to be pretty risk averse. You're going to try and protect your position as opposed to try and be too innovative. So try and not fight them head on, because that's going to be a very difficult battle to win, but try and outflank them, find the blind spots that the big guys have. And then finally, Goliaths tend to be very myopic. They're looking for, what's the next quarter look like? What's our earnings report going to be? Most of these companies are public, and therefore they're going to be very risk averse and really just be looking at the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months ahead. So we try to look at where's the puck going, where's the industry moving beyond the next quarter, where's the next innovation coming from. All right, number 1, move fast and iterate. So this has been a very explicit approach of ours. In the last 3 years, we've launched over 50 titles. There was a point where we were literally launching like 3 titles a month. Each and every one of these is trying something different. They're not just reskins of each other. Part of it is, but part of it is also very explicitly trying something different. And I'll talk a little bit about what that means. When you move fast, it doesn't mean you sacrifice quality. We've always been extremely proud of our star rating. This is obviously a big signal in the app stores. We do not tolerate anything less than a 4.5 star average. And so just because you move fast doesn't mean you sacrifice quality. That's something that we've been very, very clear on. And every time we release something, we're trying something different. We're trying to improve. We're trying to make it better. So our first game, Lost Treasures, it had a 4-cent IAP. ARPU, pretty miserable, in all honesty. But it was enough to give us like, hey, there's something here. Our customers are prepared to pay. They're prepared to pay at a very small level, but there's heat here, right? So what do we do to make it better? And every time we release a game, we're trying to get that IAP ARPU up. So in May 2015, that's our last video slots title prior to launching Viva Slots Vegas. We've been able to more than triple over the last 2 years of iteration from 4 cents to 15 cents. And that's through a very data-informed approach, really thinking about what might move the needle, what might move the metrics. All right, number 2, fight on the flanks. Don't take them head on. So again, recap here. Like these guys, they have so much going for them. They have Double Down. They've got real-life slots IP. This is the stuff that customers know from the casinos, and that really works. So it's something that's very difficult to take on. Zynga with Hit It Rich, they've got a powerful licensed brand. They've doubled down, tripled down on that with Willy Wonka, Wizard of Oz, and so on and so forth. Big Fish have the very, very hardcore kind of real-time synchronous social play. Very expensive proposition to build that from scratch. So hard to take that on. I think Huge Casino, just as a side note here, have done a really, really nice job of taking social and iterating on that. And I think they're kind of reaping the rewards at the moment. My Vegas, they got the real-life comps, the MGM tie-in. Very hard to fight these guys head on. So find an alternative battleground. We took what we call the Coca-Cola strategy. Coca-Cola comes in lots of different, it's basically the same stuff, right? It's the same formula, but it comes in diet, it comes in, well, here, better slide here. Comes in all shapes and sizes. You got the value pack, you've got when you're eating a meal at McDonald's, you've got the can, the original formula, you got the diet, you got the male formulation, the female formulation for the kids, for the families. It's the same stuff, but they've done a really good job of packaging it in a different way and positioning it in the stores as being for somebody very specific. And that's kind of what we see slots as well. So slots is slots, but it appeals, different types of slots appeal to different types of people. So every time we launched a game, we would try something different. You got obviously your Asian theme, you got the economy balance. We tried to launch on the Tango messaging platform, which did miserably, but we were going after that younger audience there. We tried to use the public domain Alice in Wonderland IP to see if we can do something clever there. And we tried to do integrated casino light with Vegas Jackpot, the male theme. Each and every one of our titles tried something different and succeeded and failed in different ways. So we didn't pick kind of a head-on battle with okay, we're going to take on big fish with social. We thought, okay, let's peel off a little piece of that and try something a little bit lighter, but offering something very consciously to different audiences. The other huge reason to launch multiple apps, in our opinion, is the fact that 2/3 of app discovery is through search. The more product you have on the shelf, the more likely you are to be found by your customers. If you just have a single product in market, if it's a flagship and it's a known brand name and people are actually searching for you, great. That's wonderful. You're in a good position. If you're IGT with Double Down, people are probably searching for Double Down Casino. We didn't have that, so what we did was we put lots of products into the marketplace in the hopes that people would find and be searching for, Alice in Wonderland slots. And sure, it may be a long-tail search, but if you get good ASO and you have that product in the market and the app icon and the imagery in the App Store is consistent, people are going to pick up your product and you're going to get some installs. And you're going to get some people who are explicitly looking for that particular product. And so that is something that we've been able to capitalize on. So this is just more of a rhetorical question here. So these are, I haven't put the scale up here, but these are our actual install numbers over the year of 2015. How many of these are paid for? Only the orange part. All the rest of it is organic. That I can't underscore enough how powerful organic installs are if you're good at ASO. I'm not sure the big guys necessarily always are, but that's something that we've strived to improve on every time. So when we launched Viva in the summer of 2015, it did unlock paid search, but it was still and to this day is a very small part of our overall strategy in terms of getting distribution. All right, finally, spot opportunities early. This is probably the biggest one for us. This was the state of the North American land-based slots market. So these are actual casinos. What are the machines that people are playing? What is the distribution? Very simplistic view, but if you look at the distribution between video slots players, and classic slots, what I call three-reel mechanical machines, this is the distribution. So it's predominantly video slots for sure, but there's a good slice of players and machines that are being played by. There's a good slice, about a third almost, that is classic slots or three-reel mechanicals that people are playing. So the state of the mobile slots market in the summer of 2015 looked more like this. The distribution was almost exclusively video slots. Every one of the big guys that we've talked about here, IGT with Double Down, Zynga, etc., Cygames, whatever, they're all video slots products. Yes, that's the majority of the market in land-based, but nobody had really thought to go after classic slots. And so we identified this as an opportunity, and we launched the Viva Slots Vegas. And since then, we've launched multiple classic SKUs, but this is still our flagship. And we were very early to market, ironically enough, on mobile, taking a kind of a classic theme, classic type product, which is on the wane in land-based casinos. Video slots is clearly winning, but nevertheless, there's a big following there. There was an underserved audience, essentially, that we were able to tap into. The KPIs for Viva were just insane. Immediately as we launched it, we knew that we could now suddenly start supporting this game with paid user acquisition. And it wasn't kind of an overnight success. We view it as a 2-year, 30-product iteration process where we'd been doing this work to get products into market and had finally identified something that was working and was resonating with our customers in a way that we hadn't ever seen before. So kind of a long journey to get there, but got there in the end. How big do we think Classic can become? Well, we think that it's probably about a $500 million opportunity. That doesn't mean that that's going to happen overnight. Doesn't even mean that you can necessarily unlock all of this opportunity, because you do have to reach these customers. But at maturity, we think this could be about a $500 million opportunity. It is a North American pastime. We've tried marketing this game in Australia and the other major slots markets. Doesn't work there. It is a very regional pastime. But that's fine. We're happy. It's a good-sized market still. The way we came at this number is basically looking at, okay, what is the land-based penetration? About a third, 25 to 30%. What is the overall size of the social casino market? It's about $2 billion in North America. And assuming that we have a similar kind of distribution between video and classic on mobile and social, this is kind of what we came up with. And this is, again, this is our actual revenue chart for 2015, taking out the actual numbers. But we had a solid business up until the summer. We'd been iterating, we've been growing. We had some up months and some down months, but primarily we were heading in the right direction. And then when we launched Viva, it just kind of, it took off. And it just goes to show that there are opportunities still out there. Again, the likes of Merca, Super Lucky, now Huge Casino, are proving that you can still break into this market and have success if you are able to identify something that resonates with customers, whether it's unlocking the male audience, a la Merca, or going after something that's underserved, like Classic for us. There are still opportunities there. So, very quick recap here. Again, this is what we did, and these are the 3 things that we've highlighted for Rocket Games that allowed us to break into this very competitive market. Doesn't mean it's going to apply to everyone, but it's taking the Goliath's strengths and using them as a weakness, kind of taking them on the sides here. So if they go slow, you move fast, you launch lots of product, you try and figure out what's working and iterate. They tend to play defense, protecting their position in the markets. So don't fight them head on, try and outflank them, do something on the sides. And they tend to be myopic. They tend to just see their world. If they're in video slots, that's the entirety of their world. Try and find something else that's maybe an underserved audience or demographics that's not getting the product that they need and want. And there you have it. Thank you.
So part of the strategy was releasing lots of apps and kind of iterating on that. I think the casino market, there's certainly a lot of people now competing, and there seems to be a huge amount of applications coming to market. And then you combine this with paid app store search. Do you think this opportunity is becoming more difficult?
100%. Even the big guys are, they've caught on. I mean, this happened already a year ago now, that the big guys are cutting on to the multi-app approach. I mean, Zynga's been launching multiple SKUs into market. Side Games has now got Hotshot and Quick Hit and taking their entire portfolio and pumping that content out there. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's going to get more and more difficult. I do still believe there are opportunity. I think Huge Casino, again, just very recently has proven that it is still possible to get traction as one of the smaller guys, but for sure it is going to get harder.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.